に言いたいけど。
ねえ、これ飛ばせる？
多分。
やったーあっち。
遺跡に入ったらパルスのルシにされるかも。やっぱり僕。
よろしく。
何やってんだ。
行きません。
危ねえ。やめろ。戻れって。おい。
パルスはパルス。私たちの運命と未来が縛られた。
Alright. Okay, so I've been talking this entire time without my mic working. Fuck. Alright. So here we go. Well, it looks like he didn't know how to fucking drive it. It does give me, like, this game does give me a lot of Final Fantasy VII vibes. Like, I've said that before in my previous stream, but, like, this looks like Midgar. Like, it reminds me a lot of it. Hope and Vanilla. Nice.
どうも。なんで来ちゃったんだろう。
とりあえずあいつ探そう。
The Pulse Falsy. To be honest, it's like, gives me, like, the Final Fantasy, it's like they mixed Final Fantasy VII with FF10 in terms of, like, the kind of vibe you're getting.
油断はなしだよ。
She's got a weird weapon. It's like, at first you start to think like her weapon's like a staff, or is it like some sort of like shooting weapon, but it's actually just like this thing where she did. It's like a slingshot looking thing.
ついていっていいのかな。
Alright, let's see what... I do like that this game has the monsters showing. Like, the monsters are on the field rather than it's just being random battles. That's what I really like about this. I've always been a big fan of that. Like, when you were able to... I got so used to it with like games like Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross, where you can just see the enemies on the map and you're able to avoid them if you want to, or like fight them. And it was just I like seeing what's happening rather than it just like being random encounters. Which, like, I know a lot of like old Final Fantasies were just all random encounters, which were fine too. But I much appreciate the fact that I can see them and I can be like, okay, I'll engage if I want. I like the uniqueness of the weapons. Like, you have this character that's using a boomerang, which is really awesome. And then whatever the fuck Vanilla is using, which is really awesome. Alright, here we go. Too bad, looking for trouble. That's what I want to do. I want to look for trouble. Alright. She's got a lot of HP compared to his Hope, though. I do like the system in this game, since it's like their first foray, well, second, I would say. Like, Final Fantasy XII was actually like active time as well. In terms of like them moving around, it just looks more fluid and stuff like that. I like the kind of mix between like active time and like and turn-based. Like, you still get the feeling of Final Fantasy, but it feels more like fluid, like they're actually like in a battle rather than just like everyone in one line. Like, they move around a little bit, like they reposition in some ways. It's actually really awesome. I like it. I think this was the game that like changed the scope. Like, Final Fantasy, I never played Final Fantasy 16 or 15, so I don't recall. I just know that it was more active time battle from what I've seen, but it seems that a lot of how it is just like active, like you can move around and stuff like that. But it seems like this is the game that kind of set the stage of that kind of gameplay, like the shift between like turn-based in a line to what it is now. Which it's good. Like, I'm glad that like games are kind of evolving. Like, they're changing as much as they can. So yeah.
こんな場所どうやって進めば。
後悔したって知らないよ。
She's so like
知らないんだ。
free-spirited. I like her.
パルスのパルシとルシは敵だからコクーンから追い出す。パルスの近くに住んでいた人も一緒にパルスの放り出す。パージってそういうことでしょ。
ここにいたら僕らもパルスにパージされて。
だから何？
何ってパルスは地獄なのに。
How do you know? How do you know it's not just indoctrination, man? How do you know?
任さないでよ。
Oh, there's Snow. He's looking for his girlfriend.
頑張れよセラ。もうすぐヒーロー参上だ。
Hey, Alita.
あれをどうにかしろってことか。
Oh, shh. Don't even worry about it, man. You're not late. You're fine, dude. Alright, wait. Something tells me I can find something up here. Or maybe not. Nope. We can't look at... Nope, that's not it. Alright. Oh, there we go. Found something. Yeah, so we're in this area, and we're actually, like, the characters are not supposed to be in this area. There's one kid named Hope, and he uses a boomerang, and then there's Vanille, or Vanilla, I think, like, in Japanese, she's like Vanilla, and, she uses some sort of, like, slingshot-looking weapon. And they've come to this place, but they're not supposed to. Like, this place is, like, off-limits. And Hope is scared because what happens is that if you're caught in a place like this, you'll then be deemed like a farushi, like a falsi, or an erushi. I don't know what those are yet. I can't remember. But then you'll basically get removed from Cocoon and into Pulse. And I know that Pulse is basically like the world below, or like, and so Hope is like, oh, it's like hell on earth, like, but I get the feeling that they don't even know what Pulse it actually is. So I assume that it's like more than what they think, or like it's not exact. It's like misunderstood. This game really gives me like a vibe of Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy VII all wrapped up in one. So yeah, like, oh no, I'm scared of going to Pulse because it's hell on earth, and it's like that's what they want you to think. That's like the kind of vibe I got. Like I said, I played this a while ago, but I only went halfway through. I remember leaving Pulse, and I can tell you right now, it's beautiful. I remember it exactly. Yeah, this place gives me like the trial vibes, like the Trial of the Faith vibes. Whenever you're getting a new Aeon. What the fuck is happening? Oh, she's pissed.
やっぱ無理なんてねえの？
拒んでいるのか。
え？
耳を塞げ。
バカがいいぞ。
私が悪かった。開けてくれ。頼む。
I kind of like the vibe of like the main character being like this confident, like strong soldier. Because come on, it's the main character. The main character always blows up cities, right? Alright, shrouds are special, single-use aerosols that can only be used outside of battle and grant the party tactical advantages. Fortisol and Aegisol bestow their bonuses at the start of the battle. Deceptisol, on the other hand, shields the party from enemy detection, eliminating any concerns of being spotted and attacked. It is useful for avoiding combat and also for launching preemptive strikes. That is interesting. Do I think FF writes women well? I don't know. I am of the male variety, so I would leave that question up to women. But yeah. Like, you've seen some Final Fantasy. What do you think? Like, do they write men well? I don't, like, okay, so yeah, I would say so. I think they do. And I think we look at it very differently than what women would, like, I think what men are looking for are different from what women are looking for. So if I was to say like they write men well, I think like somebody like Cloud, especially now with like the remake, I feel like they've written him well in the sense of like, here's this guy that's fucking traumatized. You know what I mean? He's strong. He works through his issues, but he's fucking traumatized, right? Which is something that like you didn't really see back in FF7, like the original. Like, you knew he was traumatized halfway through when like the big reveals happened, but you didn't know. But like, from what I've seen in the FF remake and stuff like that, like they're able to show you his like PTSD, so to say, like a little better than they did in the original. Then you have like, I find that like a lot of the male characters are very varied, and I think in Final Fantasy they're a little bit more typecast, stereotypical, right? I feel like they're a little more stereotypical in a sense. So like you'll have like the main character, you'll have somebody like Cloud, and then you'll have somebody like Squall, and like they're both very similar in terms of like, I gotta be like this cool main character kind of guy. And then you get FF9, and you get like this young upstart thief who just wants to chase women, and it's like, it's like a different, like it's like they went in a different direction with that one. And then FF10 came along, and they're like, we're gonna dial back on the misogyny a little bit, but we're still gonna have like this kind of upstart boy coming into this world and like just like fucking shit up. Today's characters in Final Fantasy? I don't know, because like I never played 15 or I never played 16. I don't know how well written those characters are. I know that from what I've seen from the Final Fantasy remake, they've added more nuance to those characters. They were able to add more to those characters, so you can like how do I say it? Like you can feel for them more, right? Oh, in general, yeah. In general, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, characters that are, like, today's characters. Like, give me an example. Oh, I get what you mean. You're saying like they're not as deep as characters in like stories today. That's what you meant. I thought you were meaning like they were deeper back then, but now they're not. No, completely agree. I think storytelling has gotten a lot better, and and people are writing characters that are a lot more nuanced than before. Whereas before you were like, I want to like just have this really cool character that like he's just like calm and collected and stuff like that, but like there really isn't much about him. Like for me, Squall is just not like Squall from the main character from FF8 is like the most like he is such a forgettable character. Like the most forgettable character for me, like in all of Final Fantasy, and he's exactly like that. I just don't like that character, but yeah, you're right. Like if I was to look at Cloud back in the original PlayStation 1 game compared to Cloud now, they've added a lot more nuance, and like the story from Final Fantasy, like from the PlayStation version, like back in 96 like was still a good story that like you ended up with like characters that you fell in love with and stuff, but they've added so much more nuance to those characters now, and so yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah, like I fucking hate Squall, dude. But I'm also like an FF8 hater. Like I hate that game so much. I hate FF8. Oh my god. All Final Fantasies are a bit different, right? And whether it's the gameplay or the storyline, right? No, that's the problem. No, like FF8, I can't remember the story to that game. Like I can't remember it. And I played that game through. The game is so forgettable, and I think the gameplay was a lot of the reason why the game was so forgettable. It was because they had this system called the draw system, and it was just the shittiest system in Final Fantasy ever. Like it was trash. I hated it so much. It was like you would basically draw these cards. It was like putting a card game into a Final Fantasy and putting the cards as part of the actual like fighting, like actual system to like build your characters up, right? Yeah, they did, and like you have to respect that. Like I still respect the fact, like I like when companies do that. Like Nintendo has been doing that for time immemorial, just like trying new shit. And then, you know, with Final Fantasy, they've always just changed certain things around. They've always, like, changed the system. Like, I think, like, yeah, from Final Fantasy 1 to Final Fantasy 6 and 7, they all roughly had the same kind of system. It's like, here's your menu, it's your turn to attack, you have attack, magic, defend, run away, those kind of things, right? And then they started changing that after Final Fantasy VII. Like, Final Fantasy VII was a lot more, like, nuanced, and Final Fantasy VI was a lot more nuanced, but in terms of the gameplay. But Final Fantasy VIII is when they started, like, okay, let's change up the system a little bit. And they changed up the system. And then Final Fantasy IX, they're like, okay, well, we went with Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII, and those were very much more modern styles of games, like with a modern like feel to it. Let's go back to our roots. And like Final Fantasy IX, they went back to their roots, but they changed a lot about those. They added a lot to those roots that made the game feel more fresh. There was one thing I didn't like when that was like the like their limit break system in Final Fantasy IX. I didn't like so much, but other than that, the game was great. And then Final Fantasy X, they've just like kind of changed, and you can tell like from Final Fantasy X, and then Final Fantasy XI. I'm not gonna that's a MMO. I'm not gonna bring that up, but. Then you had Final Fantasy XII, which was basically a game that were like, hey, what if we took a lot of what we did in Final Fantasy XI and, you know, made a single-player game with that kind of system, which is what they did. And then there's Final Fantasy XIII, which they've which set the stage for like how modern Final Fantasy games would be played. But yeah, like even here, like they have like the shroud system, like I just learned about, we just learned about, which I'm trying to remember what the button was. Was it this button? Wait, what button was it? This one? This one? Nope. This one? This one? Nope. Ah, there it is. So like I can change like certain shrouds in order to like for example, if I use this, then I can get past enemies, right? But I don't want to get past enemies. I want to level up. It's all about leveling up. Which is the best in my opinion. Of course, like I said, I haven't played 15 or 16, but I would probably say that Final Fantasy X is a great system. There's one thing about Final Fantasy X that I didn't like so much, was that I didn't like how you had to you had to always switch between the characters in order to level them up. Like if you were doing like a level ups, like if you were leveling them up, you would have to like, you know, always switch between the characters, right? Which I love the fact that you can switch between the characters, but when you're it kind of gets like annoying to do when you're trying to like level up all the characters, right? Final Fantasy, yeah, so the Final Fantasy X system is great, but I think still Final Fantasy VII, like the original 1996 Final Fantasy VII, that system was the best. Like the materia system was great. Like I loved it. So far, I really like the stagger system in this game. Like I like like you damage the enemies so much that you can stagger it for extra damage. Like that's a really cool idea to add to it. Final Fantasy 15. Like I was never drawn to it, but like I'll eventually play it. It's actually pretty funny because like I stopped playing Final Fantasy. This game was like my last one, and the reason why is because like, you know, life got in the way, and so I never really caught it. I never continued with playing Final Fantasy, but I always replayed the old ones, right? Like I have from like Final Fantasy 1. Like now, actually, I have Final Fantasy 1 all the way to 13 now. Like I have all of those games, right? And so like I'm enjoying like replaying them all, right? And I know that with Final Fantasy 13, like I really like the main character. I really like the style of it, but I didn't play the game. I didn't finish the game, right? So I'm enjoying playing this, and then of course like on my Switch I'm still going through replaying Final Fantasy X as well, which is like I'm at this point in Final Fantasy X, like while I'm commuting to work, I'm like doing all of the things that I need, like all of like the extra like side questy stuff, which is annoying, but it's, you know, it's kind of like a work in progress, because like that game is fast. Like Final Fantasy X is one of the biggest games, like in terms of things you need to do. It's so huge. Oh shit. This is a guy. Yeah, it seems like staggers are very important in this game in order to like actually take down bosses and stuff, so. All right, let's continue on.
こんな遺跡が何百年も発見されなかった。
I do like the music of this game too. Does it though? Like, it doesn't give me the FF feels, but I like the music. Like, it's kind of different from, like, it's kind of how do I say? It's like they definitely went in a different direction in terms of like the style of music. Shit. Yeah. And they'll always have like add-ons to it. Right? Like, I think when a game is really popular, they will add more to it. Or if they want, like, I don't actually know what the consensus is on Final Fantasy XIII. I know that when I played it the first time, I got really bored halfway through. But they made it a trilogy. Like, there's a trilogy of this IP, right? And the only other time I've seen that happen was for Final Fantasy. Well, actually, I'm trying to remember. Actually, did they do one for Final Fantasy XV? I don't think they did. I think this was the first one they did like a trilogy of, as far as I remember. And then they made just a remake of Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy VII. But oh no, sorry. No, Final Fantasy X was the first one. Like, it was so popular that they created Final Fantasy X-2. And that was a completely, like that, and that was like a complete departure from what they usually do. And then they did the same thing with Final Fantasy XIII, but they made it into a trilogy rather than just a game with like a sequel, right? Crossover, like, they've done crossover games before, but they're not like canonically crossover. I can't remember what like the Eroshi and the Baroshi are.
一気に行くか。
Just grenades, man. Oh, and like what the story's all about. They're pretty like it's begun like this is like the beginning of the game, but they're pretty vague with what's exactly going on. Basically, they all live in this city, and it's a cocoon. It's called Cocoon, and it's because it is a cocoon. I'm kind of giving like the spoiler away. It's literally like a city, like on this planet that's in a cocoon in the air. As far as I remember, this is like one of the things that I remembered about this game. And they live in the city, but it seems like there's a lot of like indoctrination and like fear, so that like you have like this government that, you know, says like, oh, if you do these things, or like if you go to these places, like you will then be deemed as this type of person, and you'll be removed from Cocoon. And I think they've added a lot of fear to the people or the citizens of Cocoon to fear Pulse. But I remember that Pulse, like when you actually go to Pulse, it's literally just a beautiful, lush world. But that's later on. Like I think like halfway through this game is all takes place in Cocoon. That's what I remember. I remember like once I left Cocoon, it was like a beautiful world. Like it was like you were like it was kind of more open world after you left Cocoon, which I'm spoiling it right now. Yeah, it's an exactly. It's an allegory for what the English said, for sure. Don't spoil. No, but that's the only thing I remember. Like, I only remember like the one scene where when you're leaving Cocoon and you're going to like Pulse, and it's literally just a world. It's like imagine like a whole bunch of like people decided to make like a city in the sky, and only like those people live in that city, but they're so like authoritarian that like if you go against them in any sort of way, they're like, fuck, we're just gonna kick you out, right? So there's like this game opened up, and it opened up in a way where you have a feeling of like there's this rebellion going on, and people are rebelling against this, you know, against the people who run the city, I guess. Oh no, she's very much alive. She's very much alive and very much like happy-go-lucky. Gives me Riku vibes. Kind of gives me Riku vibes. What's over here? Ooh. Oh no, I was just there actually. Gotta go this way. Am I? Oh, the dogs. I've been trained not to trust happy-go-lucky. I'm sure she's gonna be fine. It'd be diabolical if they made like a character like this become like the actual like antagonist of the game, because like she's like very happy-go-lucky and like a team player, and then if she just ended up becoming the antagonist, you'd be like, wait, what the fuck? it's like, I don't know, akin to
油断はなしだよ。
Aerith in Final Fantasy VII. Instead of, like, you know, her, you know, dying, she just becomes the antagonist from the entire game. It'd be like the worst thing.
おしまい。
Then they turned it off, yeah. Haha, sucker, I was after the MacGuffin all along! And then they turned, yeah. 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 Dude, I don't know. What is it called? It's called a binding rod. But it looks like some sort of, like, it looks like a slingshot, but like a training slingshot, as in, like, what I mean by a training slingshot is that, like, all of the things are connected to a wire, so, like, you're hitting somebody with it in the wrong way, but then it just returns back to you. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe this fucking weapon. Like a whip rod, I guess. I don't know. I know that he's running around with the boomerang, and that's great. But yeah.
なのに手を出したら
Yeah, binding rod.
力合わせてやっつけよう。
Oh, now I get it. Okay, yeah, now I get it. It's pretty suggestive, but, you know, I wouldn't put it past past JRPG directors to make that kind of reference. Yeah, it's funny because he just like picks up the boomerang. No, he always had it, I think. He just knows how to use a boomerang. But you're the Australian. Do boomerangs actually do come back? Or, like, you have to, like, throw it in a specific way for it to actually come back? Like, it's, like, not practical? Throw it the right way. They can be deadly. Ooh. I can imagine. You sharpen those edges, man. I can imagine. What the fuck are those? Damn.
なんだよこれ
違いルシの慣れの果て
Erushi.
マルシの命令使命を果たせなかったルシはこうなるんだ
Yeah! It's Red Hot Chili Pepper guy. Now it's Silent Hill. Yes. Or they kind of look like the husks from Mass Effect. The band's back together, guys. They are
お
ghouls.
疲れお疲れ
Otsukare.
なんでこんなところに早く逃げろ分かった歩けねえなら隠れて待ってろゼラを助けたら一緒に逃げよう家に返してやるからな
待ってセラって
俺の嫁さん未来の猫なパルスルシだパルシに捕まってこの遺跡にいる助けてくるから待っててくれ
なんだよそれルシを助けるってなんだよあいつら敵だろ敵は助けるのになんでおかしいよ
そうだなごめんなバカでさじゃあな
Just like leaves. Alright, guys.
あいつが
See
戻
ya.
るまで待って
中に巻き込まれてばっかんだ。一昨日ファルシが見つかった時ボーダムにいただけなのに軍隊に捕まってマージされて、あいつのせいで母さんが。
みんな守るんだっけな。
何がセラだよ。
よっ
He's a bit of a Shinji. Yeah, he lost his mom. Like,
直接文句言いなよ。
I guess you gotta see, like,
ずっと苦しい
saw his mom just, like, fall to her death. I remember when I was like a teenager playing this game, or like, yeah, or a young adult, yeah, in my 20s. I can't remember when this game came out. I remember like being like, oh, this kid's so whiny, but then like as you get older and you're like, he lost his mom. Like I can understand the way, I can understand that he feels this way, you know, like I gotta give him a chance. But if I was in my 20s still, I'd be like, man, this kid, he's so whiny.
妹さんの使命はその子がルシにされた時ファルシに何を命令された。やっぱり国軍を壊すとかそういうもんか。
聞けなかった。
I didn't ask.
いいか姉ちゃん、ファルシは人に呪いをかけてルシに変える。ルシは使命を与えられる。その使命を果たせないとルシはああいう化け物になる。もし妹さんがああなってたら、いやまだでもそう
I don't remember.
ルシになった人間を助ける方法はね、たとえ使命を果たしても
There are a few things I remember in this game, but I remember getting to Pulse, and then it opened up, and then it was like, all right, like it's pretty linear. It's a linear game up until you get to Pulse, and and I actually liked that. I thought it was really interesting, like this very cinematic feel of this game, like through and through. And then you get to like Pulse and you're like, the world's open up. Now you gotta do all these other things like level up and stuff like that. And I got to that point and I'm like, shit, I don't know if I want to do that. So yeah. I'm gonna go this way. Yeah, I can't spoil anything. Yeah, you can basically ask me questions and I'll be like, you know what? Consider me new to this game because like I can't remember. Ooh, a power wristband. Yes. I need more power. Unlimited power. Get out of here, Ghoulie. I don't need you. Alright, I'll fight you guys. It's fine. I'll fight you. I don't mind. Oh, they're both staggered because I got them in a preemptive strike. Yep. Yep. There's like certain staples in every Final Fantasy. Sorry, in all Final Fantasy, and Phoenix Down is one of them. Phoenix Downs and potions, high potions, mega potions. They're all there. Using the same terminology. Same with spells. Spells are going to usually follow the same terminology. They'll always have like Thunder, Thundara, Thundaga. So. And Chocobo. Oh, I actually don't remember if Chocobos are in here. I can't remember if there are Chocobos. I would assume they are, because they're like in every Final Fantasy. It's like there's never not Chocobos. Oh, right, he does. That's right. He has a small baby Chocobo. You're right. Yeah. Then yes, they are in the game. I forgot about the small baby Chocobo that he has. Another thing that is new in this that I've never seen in another Final Fantasy, as far as I remember, is that they have like the star rating. I've actually never seen that before. It's like very new. Are we talking about like he's like Remy from Ratatouille? Basically controlling the guy with his hair. Kind of more diabolical. I can imagine. Alright. I think that's going to be the part where I end at in terms of my short stream. Yeah, hold on 1 second. Do something really quickly here. Alright. Okay, that's gonna be probably where I'm stopping. Actually, the funny thing is, before you came on, I started my stream, and I started off with like this monologue in the beginning before I actually started playing the game. And while I was playing the game, it's like 5 minutes in. I think I was like 5 or 10 minutes into the stream, and I was like, "Oh shit, my microphone was muted." My microphone is muted. So like I like did this whole monologue in the beginning that no one heard about. That no one could hear. That is like when I put this on like when I publish this after my stream, it's gonna be like the first like 5 or 10 minutes gonna just be me talking with no sound on. Oh my god, it's so annoying. But basically, what I was saying in the beginning, before I discovered that my microphone was muted, was that I'm going to be streaming this game probably like once or twice a week, and I'm going to go through Final Fantasy XIII solely on stream. I'm not going to play this game offline. I'm going to play this game through and through on stream, and I will then play. I'll play Final Fantasy XIII 2 and then Final Fantasy Lightning Returns as well. I'm not sure when I'll get all of this done, but basically once or twice a week, that's what you can expect. And yeah, I'm excited to do it. I like playing Final Fantasy, and I really want to revisit all of them. So yep, I'll still be playing some Warhammer-based games, and I'll still be playing some Monster Hunter as well. Eventually, and then Final Fantasy XIII as well. So yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Only stream. Like, I'm only gonna be streaming that. I'm not gonna play this offline. I want to play this where people can watch, and just like go through this game. It's more casual. I actually like this feeling. Like when I'm playing when I'm playing like Warhammer and I'm playing with people, there's a lot more like rush to it. But with this, I feel like I can play it on my own time, but on stream, and people can just like chill and watch as well. So yeah. Thank you. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna play same time tomorrow. I might be too tired from work, but you can definitely catch me the day after or throughout the week. So yeah, day on, day off sounds good. It does sound good. Well, that's it for me. I will catch you all another time. Peace out.